Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mrs. Barnes at Home. You've also got Mr. Scullion as a special guest today.
Hello!
We're making some chocolate brownies.
Yay!
It's raining outside and I fancy some brownies, so it is a bit of a treat, but that's okay. Now, I've already done one of the tricky jobs because I have this dark chocolate, which is very, very big and tough. So I did need to use my chopping board and my knife, and I've got very chocolatey hands. Don't worry, I washed my hands before I started, as usual. So now I'm finished with those bits. So I'm going to get rid of those. But what we need to do now is start to melt the chocolate with the butter. So I need to measure the right amount of butter. Might just bring that knife back to cut the butter. I like to use the measure on the packet for this. So I've just put in 180 grams of dark chocolate, and now I need to put in 180 grams of butter. So I am a bit approximate, but that's okay. I'm going to go down like that. And I'm just going to cut it up a little bit into cubes so that it melts a little bit easier. If your butter's been out the fridge for a little while, you could do this with a blunt knife and then the children can do it because it'll be softer. So yeah, little cubes to go in. And on the hob over there, I've got some water that's boiling because we're going to make what's called a bain-marie. What's a bain-marie?
Are you asking me what a bain-marie is?
Yes.
Well, if you put chocolate on the pan, it's too hot and it burns and it tastes really bitter and not very nice.
Okay.
So we put it in a glass bowl over some hot water and we allow it to melt without turning horrible and bitter.
Perfect. So once I've got this butter in as well, we can put it on the bain-marie.
Do you need my help?
I don't think so, but if you want to come back,
Well, I'm
then
here
you're welcome.
if you need
Please,
me.
could you put that in the wash?
Yes.
Because we're finished with it. Okay, butter can go away for now. Right, so that can go on the bain-marie. And the most important thing with your bain-marie is that your bowl doesn't touch the water. So the water's lower than the bowl. We're just going to keep an eye on that every now and then. But while we wait for the bain-marie, we're going to make our other parts. So we need to put in our eggs, our sugar, and our vanilla. So we need 3 eggs. Oh, these ones have got really nice hard shells. 1, 2, 3. That's really fun. And remember that trick that I told you another time. If you get a bit of shell in, the best way to get it out is to use another bit of shell. So let's give it a zhuzh. I know I love my spatula, but it isn't the best utensil for whisking eggs. Okay, next up, I'm going to be a little bit approximate with my measurements. I'm going to put in half of this bag of sugar because we need 250 grams of sugar. So like I said before, this is definitely a treat because it's not very healthy for you. If you've got scales, it is 250 grams, or if you're using tablespoons, let me check what I wrote. 20 tablespoons of sugar. But I'm going to just be a bit approximate and not let this section out and let all the rest out. I like approximate cooking. Cool, that's all good. Mix, mix, mix. And, oh, I forgot one thing in my picture. I wonder if I'll ever do a picture where I don't forget something. I'm going to have to be careful. As this gets hotter, I'm not going to be able to use my hands. I always forget something, and today it was my teaspoon, because we do need a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Yum, yum, yum. Just going to give this a little turn now. See how it's doing. This might take a little while. I know it did when Mr. Scullion made the truffles. Yeah, that's not going very quickly, so that's fine. We'll mix this up, pop it over to the side, and we'll come back in a minute when everything has melted. Okay, so we're just getting to the stage now where this is all melted. It's looking really nice. I've kept a very close eye on this bain-marie because I didn't want it to go too far and I didn't want it to boil over at all. This bit is hot, so it is best if your mum or dad does this bit probably. And now once you can't see any more lumps of either chocolate or butter, then you can get ready to lift it off the bain-marie onto a surface that can take the hot, because it is very warm. I'm just going to pop it there, turn the hob off. While we're at the oven, just make sure that you've turned your oven on to 180 degrees, ready for later. We're just going to let this chocolate and butter just cool down slightly because we're going to mix it in a minute with the things that we made earlier, the eggs and the sugar. And if we put it in now, then we're going to cook the eggs and we don't want scrambled eggs in our brownies. So we're just going to let that cool slightly. And while we do that, we're going to grease the tin. So take a little bit of butter on your fingers and we're just going to give the tin a bit of a grease because we want the brownies to slip out later. And we don't want them to get all stuck to the tin. So just by putting a little bit of butter all around, they're going to slide out later. Okay, so now that's ready. And this will have cooled just a little bit. Might just let it cool down a fraction more. It is still very hot. I'm going to lick that finger, go and wash my hands. By the time I come back, hopefully it's time to mix. Right, let me just check the instructions. Once we have allowed it to cool a little bit, we need to add the pre-mixed eggs, sugar and vanilla. So let's pop that in now. And I like using my spatula because then I get everything out of the pink bowl. Let's give that a little mix in. Ooh, I nearly lost it out the top then. Okay, and now it's time to add our flour. Now if you've got scales, then you just need to add 115 grams of flour. Oh, I'm making a mess. I don't have scales, so I'm going to add 16 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. It's also good to sieve it really. 4, 5. I suppose I could do that for the next bit. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. And then we're going to beat it in. Using a sieve will mean you don't get all the lumps in your brownies. Wonderful. Okay, let's beat it in. Lovely, thank you for your help.
That's okay.
Right, now this is the time when if you want to, you can add some extras. So I really love putting in some stem ginger, or you can cut up some of those yummy chocolate bars that are Bounty bars with coconut in them. So if you want to add something a bit different in at this point, then you can, to make it extra yummy. But otherwise, this is when we're going to pop it into our moulds. Now I've never done it in these moulds before, so I'm just going to have a go, see how it turns out. Okay. Ooh, it's going to be all drizzly, but I'm not going to fill them right up to the top. I'm just going to see. So that's 2 tablespoons. Let's do the same in the other ones and see how much mixture we've got left. I think I'm going to put 1 more in each. Okay, now that's really messy, so I'm just going to go and get some kitchen roll to tidy up around the sides. And Mr. Scullion, I need your hands for 1 more job, please. Oops! Ah! We're going to put the rest in our other baking dish. It's here already. But just tidying up these edges so that they don't burn everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm making a lovely mess. I'm going to be able to lick these fingers very soon. So, you're going to hold the bowl up for me, because you're the stronger one of the 2 of us.
Right.
And I'm going to scrape with my favourite utensil. So, please could you hold, and I will get the spatula ready. This might not be a very big bit of brownie in this one, but oh well. You've got an email, Mr. Scullion.
Have I?
How does that look?
Now,
because you're the chef and whoever's helped you, you can always leave a tiny bit in the bowl like that for you to lick in a minute. Now we've finished, but this is the hot bit, so excuse me, Mr. Scullion.
Okey-doke.
We need to fit these into the oven, so this is the bit for the grown-ups to do. Pop it in. That one in. This one next to it. And we're going to close that up. And I'm going to leave that in there for about 20 to 25 minutes, but I'm going to do the knife test again and see if it's cooked in the middle to take it out. Okay, so about 20 minutes have gone by, so I'm just going to get them out and have a little bit of a test. See if they're, wow, looking cool. See if they're ready or if they need a smidge longer. They look awesome. Let's have a little poke. I think they could have a smidge longer because the cakes come out on the knife. So I'm going to give them 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to leave them gooey because gooey brownies are the best. See you in 5. Okay, time to get them out. And then once they're out, I'm just going to let them cool. Oh, can't see, my glasses have steamed up. Got to be really careful because this is so hot. So there's that one. And this one. And I'm just going to check this one, I think. Just in case this one does need a tiny bit longer. Let's just check that that's clean. Perfect. Super. I'm just going to carefully go around the edge of these ones. Oh no, they seem like they're going to be fine because of our greasing with the butter. Super. Hope you can have a go at making these too. Let me know if you do. Send me a picture.